Joining us to kick off hour number 2 is my guy, Daniel Jeremiyah, because I can't quit him enough. Good to see you, buddy. How are you?
Good to see you, man.
Well, I led the show by saying I've never seen anything like Sonny Styles. And I know Arvell Reese was outstanding, and I understand that David Bailey was outstanding. But what Sonny Styles did, I've never seen anything like it. Well, Triple Crown last night, man.
No, I just walked from the stadium over here.
Yes.
And sweat significantly more than Sonny Styles did after jumping 43.5 inches, running in the 4.4s, and dominating a field workout.
Yeah, pretty much.
That was the thing that stood out to me. It wasn't just how smooth he was, how fast and explosive he was. Like the rare players, the elite players, they have an endless gas tank.
Yep.
And it's like he looked like he'd done 10 more of those workouts yesterday.
Yeah, he was not out of breath telling Stacey Dales I should have jumped higher.
She's 45.
So, as I talked on the show with you last night, let's try and replicate it here. The first overall pick in the draft was at the podium this morning, correct? Yeah. All right. So Fernando Mendoza will check the box.
Yeah.
The second overall pick in the draft worked out last night, correct? You'd agree with that?
I would agree with that.
All right. Walk me through the choice the Jets have and what you think might actually come out in the wash in Pittsburgh.
Well, there's a desperate need for an edge rusher. There's a desperate need for an impact defensive player. So when you look at the first part of the discussion, it's like, who are the defensive players worthy of going all the way up there? And we saw all three of them last night. So it's David Bailey, it's Sonny Styles, and it's Arvell Reese. Well, as much as I love Sonny, and we're talking about the unbelievable workout that he had, they just traded Jermaine Johnson. That's a hole for them at the edge rush position. They need somebody there. They need an impact player there. I tend to think if it's close, they probably go with an edge rusher. So then that puts Sonny to the side, and then you're down to Arvell Reese and David Bailey. David Bailey is the more productive edge rusher. He's played that position for an extended period of time. There's proof of concept. You know exactly who and what he is, which is exceptional. But then there's Arvell Reese, who I would argue has even more in his body, like more just raw talent and explosiveness. He's a little bit better athlete, like bender and all those things, but has split his time from off the ball as an off-the-ball linebacker and an edge rusher. So where I think Arvell Reese could end up ascending past Bailey, I think Bailey is better right now, and I think there's still like double-digit sack potential, and it's double-digit sack player. So it's not like you're taking some low-floor, unathletic guy who's just got some sacks. Like, I think David Bailey at this point in time is where I would peg them.
So wouldn't Styles have a plus in the fact that you could put him in so many places, and he could rush the passer as well? I don't
know that I would say there's anything he can't do. It's just you don't have a whole lot of examples there. This is a former safety who's now grown into a linebacker.
Yes.
And then now you'd be asking him to do something totally totally new there on the edge. But watching that guy yesterday, I wouldn't put anything past him. But it's not like we watched Sonny Styles run 4.46 and David Bailey and Arvell Reese run 4.65. One ran the exact same time, and the other guy ran 4.5 flat. So these guys are all three specimens.
Okay, so now this leaves Arizona at 3 to decide between Maui Noah and whoever the Jets don't take. Is that basically the way this is now playing out right now?
Yeah, and I think that's the case. And you could look at it and say, okay, we haven't seen Jeremiyah Love yet, and what he can do, and I think he'll put on a show as well.
To go up as high as 3?
I just think you're looking at the best players and the most impactful players. That he's my second overall player, so he's going to be in the conversation. At least you have to discuss it. But if I was going to say, like, what do I think they would like? To me, I would think if you're Arizona, you probably like maybe Maui Noah moves even better than you thought. He's 340 pounds. And we can solve, some of the issue along the offensive line, and there's a lot more they need to solve as well.
All right, so then at 4, you've also got the Titans. Yeah. And what do you think that their thought process would be based on what we've already seen so far?
What we've seen so far, they need somebody to complement Simmons inside and Jeffrey Simmons. So you've got some pretty good options here. We'll see. Rueben Bain, and we had the discussion, yesterday, the arm length and how comfortable are you with that, and the tape warrants being in that conversation right there. And now we'll see if they, if they're comfortable with that. But that's where I had them going. But if you want to give your young quarterback, your second-year quarterback, a big-time weapon, you'll have your pick of the receivers, whichever one you'd like. I would think that would put Carnell Tate in the discussion.
How much does the arm matter to you about Bain right now, given the production we've seen this guy throw in college?
So the way I explain it, and look, people care about it, and there's some teams that'll ding him more than others. I like to look at it as I didn't know what his arm length was. I knew he had short arms when I watched him. So when you're watching him, do I have notes on my paper where I'm saying, gosh, he plays a little short arm. Like the short arms have been a concern, and I don't have that in my notes. So when I don't have that in my notes, I don't get as, worked up when the arm length doesn't come there. But on the other side of it, Cashius Howell, who I like is a really good player out of Texas A&M, there are notes, again, don't know what his arm length is, but there are notes where I think he gets stuck and he struggles to get off some blocks at times. And then he comes in and he's got 30-inch and change arms. Well, then, okay, now it's a real discussion, and now you got to figure out where he fits in.
So if you're not noticing it on the All-22 and you're not noting it, then
I get more comfortable with it.
You do.
I do.
But most of the time, though, from your world of scouting, you notice short-armed guys, or at least guys who don't have 31-inch arms. Rarely.
It's a death sentence.
They've never had a double-digit sack season in the NFL, and you pair those things up, and suddenly somebody like Bain could drop.
Yeah,
right?
And then, and I've been in the rooms and I understand the discussions, and the numbers are the numbers.
Right.
It's just like I think Micah Parsons is like 31 and a half. I mean, Micah Parsons has shorter arms, and so. And I know in talking to some D coordinators, like a lot of it's the ability to finish.
Yes.
And I'm sitting here going like, does that really help you finish? Like that much difference?
Yes.
Like the tape's too good. I can't quit him.
So this mock draft that we keep popping up on the screen, it's what, about a week old, pretty much?
Yeah. We'll see changes.
Do you pop Styles into the top 10 now?
I mean, he's been my fifth overall player.
I'm only asking to prepare myself for what I think is the inevitable.
JETS?
No, that there's going to be 4 Buckeyes in the top 10.
Well, there's
that we're going to sit that Tate could go.
Yeah.
Downs could go. Styles goes.
All my top 9 players.
And Reese.
So we've got the mock draft up here. If you looked at my top 50 list, I've got all 4 of those guys in my top 9.
But I guess there's need.
Positional value factors in, and there's some need and where teams could go. I mean, we haven't read the whole book yet in terms of the offensive guys and what they look like, but that's a tough act to follow with what we saw yesterday.
Why do you have the Giants snagging Carnell Tate right now?
Well, I go with the theory of you got a second-year quarterback, and it's the same theory you could use with the Titans to have that conversation. I just think Jackson Dart, let's get him going. Let's get him up and running. Let's show that we've solved the quarterback issue.
Yes.
And last year, when you have the injury to Neighbors, I mean, he had Wan'Dale Robinson. There's not a lot he was working with there. You can't do that. You've got to give him a fighting chance. They need some more weaponry. And Tate's a really good player who is going to, run 4.4, jump well, elite character, all that stuff. These Ohio State guys, man, they've been very impressive.
They have, just like they could only won more.
Yeah, how did they ever lose?
Incredible.
Now, somebody brought up a good point, though.
To a walk-on quarterback.
I don't think they gave up more than 17 points, right, in any games? So the defense did their part.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you.
Wow.
Again, my eyes popped out of my head with Sonny Styles last night, and I'm just wondering who passes up on him in the top 10, right? But you have needs if you want to go wide receiver, where you obviously love his top 10, right? Like there's no question he doesn't come out of the top 10.
He's too good of a player.
He is too good of a player, right? And that's what we'll be talking about on Saturday as well. Which quarterback do you think we're going to be coming out of the Saturday spinning to go, all right, he is, in fact, going to be the second one taken, and potentially even in the first round?
I think Ty Simpson's going to be the second one, and I'm excited to see him throw. He's going to do everything. If I was going to say who has a chance to really help himself with that workout, though, I would go Carson Beck.
Yeah, he's coming up here in the third hour. Why do you think that?
A lot of things. Number one, he's played a lot of ball. He's won a lot. I think he's won 37 games. He's been in big stages, big moments, big games. He's got the size. Yep. He throws the ball. Like, just as a thrower, mechanically, he looks like Carson Palmer, how he throws the ball. Oh. He just doesn't play the position as well as Carson, had played it coming out. So there's still growth and development that needs to take place there. And talking to teams, and I'm excited to see what you think of him, and talking to teams that visit with him, like he's talked about his, kind of maturation throughout his time.
Well, he was in Bryce Young's recruiting class.
Yeah.
He better be mature.
Yeah. But I mean, in terms of some lessons learned and how to, interact with your teammates and really take on a leadership role, it sounds like he was pretty introspective with the teams on that. And
Mendoza's just the dream come true, right? I mean, because Chris started the show by saying if you're the Raiders and you trade Maxx Crosby, why don't you take one of these defenders first overall and leave Mendoza on the board and go in the draft next year and get your guy? What do you think of that idea?
I would just say Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and Bo Nix, you don't want to bring a knife to a gunfight. You've got to get the quarterback. You've got to get him.
Well, you need an edge rusher to go get those guys, though, right?
Yeah, but I just think you're just spinning your wheels if you can't get the quarterback thing, and it's like, I mean, like one of the best defenses in the NFL last year, the Browns. Does anybody know or care?
No,
because they didn't have the quarterback.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like it is what it is. Like,
I get it. I was just throwing out a theory.
That, and you can't just sit there and say, well, next year there's a bunch of these guys. So there's no guarantee you're going to be in position to get them. There's no guarantee all these guys are going to come out.
Right.
Staying in college football has never been more attractive. I mean, Dante Moore's shown you that. Sorsby could have come out this year. He stayed in school. So you can project in what you think classes are going to look like, but you don't know.
Who are we going to have this weekend you're looking forward to? Who give our audience a mind's eye of what we should be checking out tonight, Saturday, Sunday? What do you got for me?
Yeah, we'll have some fun tonight watching these guys run around. There's a couple safeties I'm really excited to see. I don't anticipate Downs doing anything, but you'll see the next two guys for me. McNeil-Warren is a safety out of Toledo who's 6'3.5", over 200 pounds. I think he'll run and jump pretty well. He's a really good player, first-round caliber player.
Yeah.
Dylan Thieneman from Oregon is going to test really well and can really, really move. So those are a couple DBs I'm looking forward to. And then as we get later on in the next couple days, these wideouts, Brennan Thompson's going to challenge the 40 record.
You think
from Mississippi State?
Right.
Yeah, he can roll. Not the biggest guy in the world, but electric speed. We'll see Burks from Oklahoma is going to run crazy fast. There's a kid from Kentucky that can fly receiver. Like the receiver group's going to be insanely fast.
Okay. And then Love is going to test out of the roof, right?
Yeah, he's going to roll. We've talked about this before, but I don't know that I've seen a guy with his style, which is if you were to put a defender on a line and he was here, say they're 50 yards apart from each other, you're running. He's able to make this guy miss without changing speeds, and like he somehow navigates around him with a spin or just a little move. It's not like he stops and goes laterally. Like he's going forward, and somehow he's elusive enough and slippery enough to make the guys miss. It's crazy.
I don't think the Saints pass up.
I was just going to say, he doesn't get by 8, right?
He's in this. I think he's going to park his car in the neighborhood of 7, 8, 9, and we'll see kind of where that fits.
If I keep saying this, and I'm going to say it again Saturday. Yeah. I'm the Giants. I bring him in, and I just talk about how much you love him.
Yeah.
And
try and drum up some interest.
Damn straight.
Yeah.
Damn straight. If he's that good and you want to go get him, you got to forget about, getting in front of the Commanders.
Yeah.
You got to get in front of us.
Yeah.
If you want Love. And you can then move down and take any of these guys that you've been mocking them to get, right?
To me, the other interesting thing with him was we've talked about trying to find where the trade possibilities. And to be honest, it doesn't line up well because you're looking at the second quarterback. I don't get the sense that there's the excitement there for the second quarterback. You look at pass rushers, well, we just have so many that kind of kills that demand.
Right.
And then you look at maybe drop off in position. Like if there's only 2 offensive linemen or 3 offensive linemen, wherever that last guy is, people want to get on that train before this ride's over. So I don't think we have all those things. The one thing that let's get through free agency. Let's see maybe some picks get acquired via trades. Are there teams that are this close? And this is the little cherry on top, is to go be aggressive and go get Love. To me, it would feel more like one of those teams than a team that's just picking in the top 10 is not a great team and making that move. It feels more like a team that feels like they're.
But you mentioned getting weapons for Cam Ward. I know 4 is really high for a running back, but did Zeke go 4? Why wouldn't they take a shot at Tennessee at 4?
Yeah, my only thing with them is that, again, though, we'll see what they do in free agency. They got to build up the offensive line.
Yeah.
I mean,
they got $100 million in free agency.
Yeah,
they got the most cap space right now of anybody getting in free agency.
And they just let Cushenberry go, so that's another one that they got to replace. But I mean, the great thing about running backs, and we'll talk about it, Rich, is the Saquon Barkley test is perfect. Saquon Barkley in New York was fun for a while, I guess, and then all of a sudden in Philadelphia, it's 2,000-yard Super Bowl fun. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So who's going to be able to maximize one of these guys? You want to have it kind of built. We saw with the Raiders last year. Ashton Genty had no chance. He's getting hit in the backfield on every single play.
Every single play.
He's a good player. Like, you gotta have a little bit of that infrastructure in place for the back.
Last one for you. Do you think Crosby gets traded?
Not unless the asking price comes down. Just talking to teams, it seems like it was pretty astronomical, and I didn't know that there was anybody who was going to meet that.
From what you're hearing.
Yeah, which is where it is now. Maybe this is just, hey, aim high, and then maybe you take a little less. The Bears are the team that make the most sense.
Well, because he's out of the conference.
Yeah.
They're that
need.
player away.
Yeah, it's a need.
They could be like this year's Packers.
Yeah.
Right, where you feel like you're ready to go. You got the quarterback, you got the coach, you got everything else. Let's just add big-time pass rusher. I'm sure in all the interviews you've done this week, anytime I've been on a Chicago spot, they're like, what about Maxx Crosby?
Yeah.
That they're thinking it. The fan base is thinking it. I mean,
that one's the one. It's just what the price is going to be.
Well, what price would you strike it at? First,
to me,
I
think it's a one. It's a one and a conditional where, performance or playtime based. Maybe it's a 3 that turns to a 2 or a 4 that turns to a 3.
Why would the Raiders do that? Just because they need as many picks as possible, or it is in fact over, and then you just need to do it.
Well, I just think with the Raiders, it feels like Mendoza's the guy there. Let's give him the best chance we possibly can. So that's unlimited resources from free agency, getting more picks, focusing on that side. And I've kind of just talked about when you're in a draft room, you have the draft board set up and you've got the offense on one side and the defense on the other. I would go over to the defensive magnets, which don't think they use magnets anymore, but I would just wipe those things all off and go, we'll do that next year. We're just going to go all offense and try and give Mendoza a fighting chance.
See you in the booth, sir.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.